Hey, Rob here for Quadratec.com. Today we're checking out the GP Factor license plate relocation bracket available for the 2018 and newer Jeep Wrangler JL. Before I get into today's product review, if you guys like these videos, do me a huge favor. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you'll be sure to catch this as well as all of our latest product reviews and, of course, much more. The GP Factor license plate relocation bracket does much more than simply relocating your license plate here to the center of your spare tire. It also relocates your third brake light and your backup camera. Now, there are a number of reasons why you may want to relocate your license plate. Maybe you've installed an aftermarket bumper that doesn't have any provision for mounting your license plate. Or maybe you've installed an aftermarket bumper that does have provisions, like our Quadratec brute force aluminum rear bumper, but you simply want to move your license plate for aesthetic reasons or to get it out of any potential damage or harm's way in a very vulnerable area there below your driver's side taillight. Especially if you like to go wheeling on those tight trails with lots of rocks, obstacles, and trees, well, you could accidentally smack off that license plate pretty easily. So by relocating it here to the center of your spare tire, well, it keeps it protected from any potential damage. Now, as I mentioned, the license plate relocation bracket from GP Factor also moves your third brake light here onto the bracket from its factory location here up high behind your spare tire. Now, if you've installed oversized and larger tires on your Wrangler, they could potentially start to either partially or completely block that third brake light, especially to drivers that are in vehicles that ride lower to the ground. So by moving that third brake light from up high here to the center of your spare tire, well, it not only puts it in a lower position, making it easier to see, but it also moves it all the way here to the rear of the vehicle, helping to keep you and other drivers safer when you're out on the road. Now, finally, the license plate relocation bracket also moves your factory backup camera down here to a lower position here behind the license plate. And the bracket itself is designed to accommodate wheels with a wide variety of different back spacing and sizes. And by moving that camera down here behind and below the license plate, well, it's going to allow you to see more of what's behind your vehicle instead of simply filling your backup camera frame with a lot of that tire and wheel, which is pretty common when you've installed larger tires onto your Wrangler. Now, GP Factor is manufacturing their license plate relocation bracket right here in the USA from stainless steel. It's available in two different versions, a raw stainless version or a version that's coated in a lightly textured black powder coat finish like I have installed on our Wrangler here today. Both of those versions are very easy to install. What I really like is that they don't require any cutting or modification to the factory wiring for your third brake light or your backup camera. You're simply relocating that wiring to work with their bracket. Now, of course, before we can start, we need to remove that factory spare tire and get that out of the way so that we can get access to our third brake light. After removing a couple Torx fasteners, we can remove the factory third brake light and set it aside. Now, you can leave the third brake light frame in place, or since it's no longer needed, we can go ahead and remove it like I've done here. Next up, we can go ahead and remove the factory backup camera. To do that, we'll be removing the lug studs and the camera housing assembly as one unit through the backside of our factory spare tire carrier. Once we have that out of the way, we can go ahead and disassemble it to get access to the 3 T8 Torx screws holding the backup camera in place. Once we have it out of the way, we can unplug the camera and set it aside, and then you'll want to reinstall those lug studs into your tire carrier. At this point, we can go ahead and start assembling our GP Factor license plate relocation bracket. If you're going to be relocating your third brake light to the bracket, you can attach it now with the factory fasteners. And then we can go ahead and install the backup camera into the bracket with the two provided screws at the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock position. We don't need to worry about that 6 o'clock position to retain the camera into the bracket. Now, one of the things I really like about how GP Factor is attaching their bracket to the spare tire is that they're not requiring us to put anything behind the spare tire. So at this point, we can go ahead and install our spare back onto our spare tire carrier, and then instead of securing it with the factory lug nuts, we're going to be using the two lug nut standoffs in the kit. Now, these are made from stainless steel, and you'll simply replace the two lug nuts at the top with those lug nut standoffs, and then use your factory lug nut for the third lug stud to secure your spare to your spare tire carrier. With those in place, we can go ahead and pull all of our factory wiring through our spare tire spokes So we've got our wiring up high here for our third brake light, and we can connect that to the bottom side of our factory third brake light. One of the other things you'll notice is that the GP Factor bracket also utilizes a LED license plate light to keep you street legal, and that does come pre-wired with a weatherproof weather pack type connector and 6 feet of wiring that you'll simply need to route through your tailgate and over to your passenger side taillight, where you're going to make 2 wiring connections, a positive and negative connection to your running light circuit. Now finally, the last thing we need to pull through is our backup camera wiring. Again, it doesn't require any cutting or modification to that wiring. We're simply going to route it right here through the lower spokes in our spare tire and connect it to the backup camera, at which point we can go ahead and install the protective cover to keep that backup camera and the connector protected. Once we have everything connected, we can go ahead and bolt the entire assembly to those 2 standoffs with the hardware provided. And of course, the last step is to go ahead and secure your license plate to the license plate relocation bracket. If you guys want to get any more information or to purchase a GP Factor license plate relocation bracket for your 2018 or newer Jeep Wrangler JL, you can click that info button to head over to Quadratec.com. Of course, if you have any comments or questions about the bracket or how to get it installed, you can always leave those for me down in the comment section below or contact us directly at any of the options on the screen. Till next time, I'm Rob. I'll see you guys out on the trail.